example, they have a reed houses, okay, and this is like only from the nature. If you want to build it, it takes just 1 day or 2 days with your family if they help you. And the floating island right now it doesn't exist. This is floating island. We call it Chibisha, which means like reeds and muds and little woods. This is like floating islands. When the water gets high, the island gets with the water very high, and when the water gets low, also the island back with the water. This is really amazing like system. Unfortunately right now because of the water, the short of the water, this floating island doesn't exist anymore. The marsh Arabs only they are raising buffaloes in the marshes, so the buffaloes depends only on the water. If there is a lot of water and marshes, a good marsh, a good like a grass, reeds, papyrus for the buffaloes, but the buffaloes like can gives a milk for them, and they can sell it, they can make it as a cream. But right now we have like a short of luck of the water, and unfortunately the marsh Arabs right now in the marshes they are buying the filtered water to their buffaloes. The buffaloes cannot like drink the water in the marshes because of the salinity. If it drink it, it's gonna die. The drought started in 2022 until now. It's a drought years, and this is really hard on them. I know some area it was like over than 130 families in the marshes. Right now, when you go to this area, to the waste of Hamar marshes, it's only like 30 families.
And what would it mean for yourself and for other marsh Arabs if the marshes were to completely dry up?
We are depending only on the nature, only on the water. If the marsh disappeared, the fishermen they start to immigrate, and I think the city it will becomes like a ghost town, and the ghost town, and the marshes it will becomes desert, and all of the marsh Arabs move to the northern city and to the northern areas, and we lost all our economy, and we lost so many people. They are indigenous people, and I'm really afraid to happen that.
So that's how the heat and rising temperatures have been affecting Iraqi traditions. But over on the other side of the world, you've also got things like melting ice caps, rising sea levels, other effects of climate change. Yeah, so over in Greenland, I've been speaking to 19-year-old Maya Natuk. She comes from a native Inuit background, and we've been speaking about the different traditions that there are in Greenland. So they have these ice highways that connect remote villages to the main towns. The communities use these to travel in order to sell their produce. They go hunting, but they just can't do that anymore because the ice is just completely melted. They also dog sled, but the warmer weathers means that there's a rise in diseases, so the dogs are actually dying out and they can't use them. It's just no longer safe to use them.
The land is absolutely crucial for understanding my culture and how it links to my identity as a Greenlandic person. Our culture and morals are actually created around the nature and its principles. Actually, we have a myth or a story about the Mother of the Sea, which explains that if you are not good to one another or to yourself, and especially Mother Nature, then the Mother of the Sea would actually captivate the animals with her long hair, and you wouldn't get any food, or wouldn't get the nutrients that you needed if you did not respect the nature. Then we have, of course, the national costume, which is with the women. We have pearls and sealskin boots. Then you have your hair up. It's very much made out of everything you can get from the nature. And then we have the man's costume, which is a white top that's made out of sealskin as well.
If there's just no animals left, if all the caribou and the seals have migrated elsewhere, what would that mean?
People live off of hunting and of selling what they hunt and what they get and what they fish. So if young people can't do that and get the future that they might have thought that they could be able to have, that also impacts them on being like, what do I then have left?
And you mentioned that you find comfort in the nature. If the ice were to continue melting as rapidly as it is, what would that mean for you and your identity if you can't access it anymore?
I've always talked about how the climate change and if the ice melting, how it would have an economical effect on the Greenlandic people, but it has also changed the Greenlandic point of view and mindset so drastically because it scares so many people. If we are losing the ice, it almost feels like if we are losing a part of ourselves and our connections to our ancestors and the principle that they lived after, we will not be able to go about the nature as we're used to, and we see nature as a comfort. So that means that the nature community would lose a piece of ourselves, but also a piece of each other.
So, what are people like Muntazar and Maya trying to do to solve this issue and help preserve their traditions?
Well, they say that the emphasis should be on education. Even if climate change can't be reversed or stopped, if young people are aware of their heritage and their identity, at least they can hold on to that even if they are forced to relocate.
I've always just encouraged Greenlandic people to stay strong and be proud of who they are for who they are. They should not be ashamed to be Greenlandic because they're not used to what other people are used to, because they say that what they do is weird, or they don't speak properly Danish or English and those sorts of things. You should